Your job isn't to stop the negative voices in your head. It's to stop believing them. Okay, so today we are going to be having a nice little GURL talk. We're going to be talking about the things that I feel like are often overlooked in the self-care community and just my opinions on it. So I have my little trusty, musty, man, I'm just going with the things that rhymes. Trusty notebook in my notes because my memory's kind of. So, yeah. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is self-care. During the pandemic, I seen a little sprout in how many girls are like taking care of themselves, from actually doing morning routines to like taking care of their hair, their nails, and doing things a lot for themselves just to make themselves look better in order to make themselves feel better. So of course, like when the pandemic rules started to lift up, a lot of girls took themselves out on dates, took themselves to the nail salon, the hair salon. Okay, let me get my nails done. Let me know how to do this makeup. And that is wonderful. I've seen a lot of girls actually find themselves through makeup, which is a form of art therapy in my opinion. I feel as though the self-care community as a whole really just focused on the looks part. Everybody and their grandmother has a new skincare routine every day, suggests the same thing, drink water, do this, that, and the third, and just honestly pampering the like the exterior. There's nothing wrong with you getting your nails done bi-weekly or you actually caring about how you look when you step out the door. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing that is lacking is versatility. You do not have to cater to every girl out there. Yes, but I feel as though the lack of versatility in the self-care movement, it's getting old. We need something new. Like, instead of saying, hey, self-care is you taking yourself out to go get your nails done, what about self-care is you actually, engaging in new sports, or, self-care is you like going outside for a walk. Like literally, if you think about self-care, at least the side of the internet that I'm on, it's like a bubble bath, it's a candle, it's like a candlelight, dinner. It's you just like chilling and you like journaling and stuff like that. But why don't people talk about the ugly part of self-care? Why don't people talk about the part of self-care where you literally have to force yourself out of bed? Why don't people talk about the self-care part where you don't want to put on makeup, where you don't want to do those things? Or is you getting into that combating you doing those things? But even if it is, you don't talk about the actual hard part of self-care. When people are going on a self-care journey, at least when I did, I had a more ugly moments than I did pretty moments. Getting into makeup was just me getting in touch with my like artistic side, if anything. But overall, it was just really hard for me to like get in touch with my body because I was listening to everybody and their grandma on the internet about what I should do for my self-care routine, when in actuality, I wish they would have promoted the fact that self-care can really look like anything, and that self-care is whatever you make it. And even though I know that they're not alluding to that, I feel like it would have been really helpful to know that off the rip. I feel like at the end of the day, self-care is honestly being in tune with yourself, knowing what you do and don't like, which is where I kind of came to this conclusion. After a while, I realized that going to a nail salon and getting a mani-pedi wasn't actually the most relaxing thing in the world to me, but actuality was going outside and just spending time by myself. Something as simple as that would actually do way more than me getting my nails done or me learning how to do makeup. Things like that I wish people would talk about more. Self-care isn't just rainbows and butterflies and makeup and aesthetically pleasing photos. Self-care is actually the crying, the shadow work. It's the self-awareness of you not being okay and you actually sitting in that and feeling that and saying that there's nothing wrong with that. But also it's you knowing when you are going through that and knowing what to do to get out of that. That is self-care. You're always going to have bad days, but ultimately the goal is you learning how to get out of those bad days. So the next topic that I'm going to be talking about is depression. Ooh, nobody likes talking about depression on the self-care side of YouTube, even though it's a lot of the reason why people are getting into self-care. I understand nobody wants to make their niche unless like you're a therapist or something, just about depression and about how it affects the body and the livelihood, because whether people believe it or not, it triggers them. But I feel like that's a serious conversation to have with your viewers about how depression can make you feel like you're not worth anything. How depression can ultimately affect your self-care day. And I feel as though that it's hard to try to glow up, right? While being in that state of mind. It's really hard to push yourself to create a routine, to make yourself, put on makeup and look pretty, because ultimately once you get there, once you learn how to do the 10-step routines and the constant working out and you know how to do your hair and your nails and you look good, but how do you feel? Yeah, those things can do some can help with how you feel about yourself, at least on the external level. But what are you doing on the inside to help you feel better about yourself? Why aren't we talking about that? What else are you doing to help to help yourself mentally? This also connects with how I feel about solitude. When you do go into those deep episodes of you really not wanting to be around people, solitude can be your best friend, but also your greatest enemy, which is why I do want to tread lightly on this specific topic. Personally, for me, I feel like solitude was probably one of the best things that I could have ever done. I was one of those people that really depended on the people around them to make me feel good. I hope that made sense. But I would look to my friends for validation. I would look to the internet for validation. I would look to literally everything, especially social media, for validation, which wasn't healthy at all. And yes, they did tell me that I'm worthy. They gave me affirmations. They gave me, honestly, a reason to live. But once you hang up that phone, once you press end call on that FaceTime, once you turn off your phone and you're by yourself and you are just sitting in the room with you and your demons, how are you going to treat that? And that was one thing I had to face, that I couldn't face my demons. I couldn't face my trauma. I couldn't face the things that were honestly haunting me at night, which is why I held my phone so close to my face as I just cried myself to sleep. And that 20, 30 hour minute conversation I had with my best friend, it worked for that day, maybe that week, but what about the rest of the weeks? when I did isolate myself, when I did take that time out of my day to reflect on how I'm doing, I realized that a lot of the things that I liked didn't really come from me. They were just, or a lot of the things that I thought didn't really come from me. They were just other people's projections onto me. And it was easier for me to get to know myself when I was alone. It was easier for me to honestly be real with myself when I'm alone. Like, how many times do you have, like, how many times in a day, like, that you like know that you can do better about certain things, and then like you talk to your friends like, girl, no, you're doing just fine, but it's like you know that you need that push, and sometimes your friends aren't going to give that to you, and it's, I mean, it kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, you have to be that self. You have to motivate yourself. You have to. Me being in solitude, me being by myself for a long period of time, not only taught me what I want to know about myself, but honestly, what I want to get out of friendships. I was looking for things that I honestly could have given to myself in friendships. So now I feel like once getting out of solitude, I'm able to ask for more. I'm able to have deeper conversations. I'm able to want deeper conversations and deeper connections with people. I'm able to know when a vibe is off, or when someone is like, when I don't feel comfortable around somebody. Because when you're with friends, or especially a group of friends, it's very easy to get exposed to a lot of things and people that you're not comfortable with, but because it's your friend, oh, it's okay. But when you're by yourself and you're very used to being by yourself, I feel as though it's very easy to kind of set up your boundaries and say, hey, I don't like this. Hey, I like this. Hey, can you stop doing that? Or just leaving something altogether. It's very easy. Once you become comfortable, once you become comfortable with yourself, it's very easy for other people to kind of like move accordingly because you set the standard. Ultimately, the last thing I wanted to say before I end this video is that comparison is the thief of joy. You're not going to get fooled by looking at somebody else's plate. It's very easy to wake up, get on your phone, and go into a social media frenzy. Before you know it, you spend the last 3 to 4 hours scrolling through Instagram looking for nothing. And it's very easy to just get into that cycle of just wondering, why am I not doing enough? Why do I feel like everyone else is just doing better than me? What can I do to improve my life? And honestly, those moments in your life that you post on social media, the moments of you hanging out with your friends, the moments where you're traveling, the moments where you're just having a good time by yourself, those are the moments that you post on social media. You're not posting the moments where you're questioning whether you're doing enough or whether you are enough. So why do you expect other people to do the same? Life is not a race. It's not a race. What is the finish line to you? At the end of the day, you're going to be with yourself and by yourself. But of course, once you get to know yourself, you will attract like-minded people that will honestly make you feel way better than you did before. And honestly, you can do it. You're only 20 something. A lot of the people on this channel, a lot of the people on social media in general are literally in their 20s. And it's so, oh my God. And like, we're looking at everybody talking about I gained freaking $10,000 overnight. And now you're thinking, I have to be a millionaire before I even turn 30. You have your whole life ahead of you. Your whole life. Your life doesn't stop at 30. It doesn't stop at 30. If you don't reach what you want to do by then, you still have the rest of your life. Stop trying to compete with people that aren't even in your lane. Stop. Go at your own pace. You know what's best for you. Not the girl on TikTok. Not the motivational speaker yelling at you to get off your ass. You know what's best for you. You know what you have been through. You know that certain traumas are affecting how you deal with your day to day. You know that. They don't know that. Getting help, treating yourself, mental health, all that, it starts with you first. And taking that first step is good enough. Because after the first step, you have to take the next, and you have to take the next, and you have to take another one. Just take life one step at a time, one day at a time. Okay? I hope you guys really enjoyed that video, and I hope that I was able to resonate with somebody. Well, to somebody, but hope you guys have a wonderful day. Drink lots of water and get plenty of rest.